Hey everybody, I want to thank you all for remaining subscribed to this channel, and I want to thank all the recent subscribers. I think I've probably gained maybe 12 or 15 in the last couple of months. I just wanted to say to all of you that I owe you a deep apology for not putting out content during that period of time, and I wanted to give you an explanation as to why we haven't been doing videos. When it comes to the subject of psychic attacks, there's two different types. There's the type that's simulated, and this type is carried out usually by your spirit guides on order by your life engineers. And the way this is done is it's used to teach you a lesson, or it's used to train you to ward off certain types of psychic attacks. And it's kind of part of the awakening process for some of us. Usually nobody gets hurt in those types of things. But there's another type of psychic attack that ranges from just the normal, typical stuff all the way to the extreme. And for me, it's been to the extreme. And when I say the extreme, I mean the type of psychic attacks that actually are designed to kill you. And they have the capability of actually doing so. If they don't get you right away, they wear you down. And there's really two types of this. You have the type that's carried out by the shadow government and a lot of black budget contractors in the military industrial complex. And they use psychic super soldiers, and they use other technologies that are probably deployed from satellites, mobile units, certain types of radio towers that they have access to, probably even cell phone towers. This is what I'm referring to as targeted individuals. So you have that type, and then you have the type where you have some really vile extraterrestrials coming after you. And it really doesn't matter where these ETs come from in my case, because it gets very complicated, and it's pointless to even try to explain it. The best way to do it would probably be a book. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. But I've been under sustained psychic attack, and I wasn't even aware at times that I was actually under attack. And it gets very confusing because there's a psychological aspect to it as well, especially when you have an extreme physical aspect. And this has damaged my entire body. I've had 7 sinus surgeries, 7 spine surgeries. I'm fused at 3 levels in the lumbar spine, 2 levels in the cervical spine. I've got nerve damage to the point where my vagus nerve, which goes to my brain all the way down the end of my spinal cord, which controls the autonomic nervous system, was damaged. That was after the cervical fusion that I had. And that was acted upon by negative ETs as well. And there's a lot of details to this that I'm leaving out for the purpose of keeping this video comprehensible. But I got to the point where right after the last video that I made with my amazing friend Diane, it was about psychic attacks. When I got to that point when I made that video, it's like the gates of hell opened up. And things got really bad. And ultimately what happened was I fell into about a 6-week long deep depression, which is rare for me. The most I've only stayed depressed is 2 or 3 days on average. It was always situational. So this was situational, but it was being amped up by ET psychic attacks. And it was situational as well, but it was just, they just hit me hard. So at the end of the 6 weeks, I was pretty much done. I'd had enough of this. We live in a time where we have this great reset. We have the great culling of humanity taking place with certain pharmaceutical products that people are in denial about. That's an absolute nightmare. You have the complete destruction of everyone's quality of life with the Great Reset. And then you have people that are more and more vulnerable to this type of systematic system destruction, such as myself, because I've gotten sick. And I've gotten to know other contactees over the years that have been put through a lot of the same stuff, and some of these people are disabled and unable to work. Their immune systems are completely damaged. They go through life struggling with these ailments, and they're constantly under heavy attack. And I've gotten involved with some, and it's increased the problem. It's actually brought more crap on me, which it's part of the course. I really don't care. At this point, it is what it is. So, to make this story short and manageable, I reached a point where, I asked to be taken out. I asked my my guide, Ashtari, who's a Pleiadian, who's also, turns out, is a very close member of my inner circle, my family. I'm actually not from Orion. I found that out. I was born in Orion, but for the last 20,000 years, I've been living in the Pleiades. And it's a beautiful planet. I was very happy there, and I can remember what it looks like. It's just an incredible place. And it was a place where the energy was very positive, and I didn't have any cares in the world. I had no worries. For the first time in my whole life, I actually got to feel what it's like to be someplace where you're completely safe, and you're not just completely safe, but you're completely content, and you're loved. And it's something that's been lacking in this life. So I asked to go home, pretty much. And anyway, what happened is that instead of things going the way I thought they would, they went the way that my higher self had contracted it to be. And I know this because they've allowed me to have access to my higher self as well as a second person, which is a very, very bad state of affairs to be in, because it means that part of you is now awake, or at least part of the time. And the amount of pressure and strain on that side of yourself is intense. And that was something that really kind of sparked off the depression I had, but then it got worse because of outside actors. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I pretty much I'd asked to go home, and but little did I know what was going to happen next, because it was a matter of weeks. I started feeling sick. I started getting really, really run down. I would sleep and I'd wake up exhausted. I was winded all the time. I started getting really, really serious problems in my stomach, my intestinal tract, and it turned out that it was lack of blood flow to that area of my body. I had brain fog, and it just went on. And it was just, I couldn't snap out of it. I kept waiting for myself to get over it, and it just didn't happen. Finally, I figured out that, I actually had heart failure. So I'm in the process now of actually getting help for that. It appears to be stage 3, but I don't have a full diagnosis yet. I'm on, let's see, I got carvedilol here. Actually, this is lisinopril. It's carvedilol right here. I just went up a dosage, so I'm actually taking 6.25 milligrams. Let's see if you can see that right there. There's me, there's my name, I'll hide, and then carvedilol. This is the starter dose. I've had to double this up at the end of week 2, and I got to get a new prescription. And this is lisinopril, and then this is for nausea and vomiting, because I've had a lot of that. Just haven't thrown up, but I've heaved, and I've been extremely nauseated with just horrific diarrhea, and also had some fluid in my lungs, which has cleared up. That went on for close to a week, and I've just had a lot of changes to the medication, and it's not fun taking a pretty substantial beta blocker like that, but it's keeping me alive at this point. So technically what it's doing is making me feel better while I slowly die. So I probably got maybe a year left. I don't know, maybe a little longer, maybe a little less. I'm not here to get sympathy, because this is something that I asked because I had already exceeded the contractual limit of how long I could be here, and I was given an extension. It was just a weird arrangement that happened, and I paid a substantial price for knowing all this stuff, because most people, this is handled by their higher self. They're not even involved in it, which is a good thing. And this involves star seeds and engineered lifetimes. You don't want to be this aware of what's going on to you, on with you, because it's extremely difficult to live with, extremely painful. It's no fun at all. And this is why I've been wanting to go public and talk about it, but I've had so much resistance in the UFO community. 14 years of contacting researchers and podcasters, and all I gotten was Rex Bear freaking out and getting basically his own psychic attack. And you can look at those videos. I haven't done much with them, but they're on my playlist. Rex Bear opens my email, he reads it, he talks about it on the show, and then he goes to bed, or maybe it happened all at the same time. So I remember him sending the emails to him at night. Very next morning, he had 2 videos out around 10 a.m. the next day, Eastern time. So there was that, and that's a documented. That's actually documented proof of a psychic attack right there. So, you would think people would want to talk about that, but not many do. So far, Robert from the Typical Skeptic podcast, the only person that will have me on at this point. And I'm fine with that too, because that has a lot to do with these psychic attacks. They can run people off, and they ran Rex off, and they've ran off a lot of other people. And so when you realize that, you don't get upset anymore that, hey, you've been ignored or blackballed. It's really because the ETs are really aggressively after you. They let the ones through that can get through, and the rest of them they keep out of the off the stage, more or less. But anyway, that's what's going on with me. I've got what appears to be, and clearly is, until it gets diagnosed, everybody's hoping it isn't, but it is. It's congestive heart failure, or it could be neurological heart failure, but it's stage 3. So I'm in pretty bad shape. But anyway, getting back to some positive stuff here, going through this has actually been really liberating and kind of freeing. I'm getting out of the matrix. I'm getting the hell out of here. Finally, after 48 years, I can say that there's an out for me. It's like I earned in my stripes. I'm getting out of the spiritual prison. So that's a positive thing. I get to go back to my family. I've had family members from my ET existence come through. We've had very loving interactions, and that's been very positive. They've been very helpful, and they've been urging me to leave. Some could say, hey, that could be a psychic attack too. Well, you have to take the positive with the good. The positive with the bad. And, if it's all bad, then I guess it is, and you'll find out in the end. But if it isn't, at least you embrace the positive side of it. So I've accepted both outcomes. It could be I'll just be a deception, or I am actually being helped by good ETs, and I've got bad ones after me. So I'm going to keep it simple, kind of black and white like that for now. But so that's the situation. So that it's positive in that respect, but negative in respect that I'm leaving my family. But if I'm too sick, I can't provide for them anymore, then, and I can't take care of myself, and I get that bad, I don't want to be here. Nobody would. People have committed suicide for less, and this isn't that. This is just, the end of a lifetime that would have happened 2 years from now, which is what I was told. It would have happened anyway. It's just that, it's gotten that bad. So, there was periods where because I've had 7 spine surgeries, so I've had nerve pain all over my body, for example, and they've amped it up. And I've had psychic attacks where my whole entire body was just almost immobile. When I was going to take pain pills just to move around the house, I couldn't do anything. It was just, I had fatigue, I felt bad. This was all done to me as well, and this went on for months. And it takes a toll on you, and I'm a pretty durable, tough person, but after a while, you just realize that it isn't worth fighting anymore. But I'm going to keep fighting for a little bit, at least, because I don't have anything to lose anymore. So if, I get really attacked by the negative ETs to the point where, they take me out sooner than later, like they've done, and this is the military as well, because I'm now in contact with people who are being attacked, such as what they did with Max Spears, where he threw up, the brown liquid, for example. That's a good example of, I think it's nanites or something, from what I understand from people who've remote viewed it. Some type of nanotech that's like, they can poison you, but then it sort of becomes inert. It's not detectable because they're not looking for such a thing. So it's a way of getting rid of you and shutting you up. So evidently he said something or a lot that they didn't like. Some people say that Gerald Clark was murdered. He was induced with cancer. I mean, that's possible. I'm entertaining. I'm actually believing it, because not just entertaining it, I'm believing it. That's what I'm saying, because, for example, shit, it's happened to me. I mean, it's happening to a lot of people, and it's happening to far more people than you think. It's not just a handful or tiny number of people that went public. I mean, you've got people that are getting attacked like this that aren't going public because they're there to do things to change the social order, to upheaval, to cause an upheaval and change the paradigm. And they're being just targeted right and left, and they're being murdered slowly, sometimes quickly. And they're getting rid of us, and the bad guys are doing a damn good job of it. Hopefully they'll lose in the end, but for now, this is it. And I've been a target for a long time, and I've come to realize that. So that's the situation. So what I'm going to be doing is, I've got a contact friend who also gets attacked. He's going to be hopefully taking over this project if we get to that point. We're in the early talks right now. And I'm going to build, if that's the case, and we're going to work together, then I'm going to be able to build it up with him. And he's like a combination of me and Gerald Clark. So he's going to be able, if he joins me and he does this with me, he's going to be able to really take this project to new places, new heights. And we're going to have to change the name of it, have to ditch the Orion name. So it really doesn't represent me anymore, and it definitely doesn't represent him, and it does turn off a lot of people. It sounds cool. It's a great name, and I wish we could keep it, because the pyramid emblem, and I mean all of it, the image, the whole thing's great. But great for marketing, but it isn't true to what its purpose is. So we're going to change that. That's in the works, but and I'm going to have somebody helping me, so it'll help motivate me as I'm sick. I'm here to, I'm also, I've agreed to do this if we do it, and I think it's going to be bad for me, because I'm probably going to get attacked more, and they can attack my heart. It's an easy target. They've already been after me, and they've already been doing it to me. So that's what I'm facing, and I don't care anymore personally, because it's over anyway. So my goal here is to create something, and hopefully it outlasts me, and it becomes something, and you know, becomes a community, and becomes something really, really special that helps a lot of people, and helps to eventually to help change and shift this paradigm into a positive one. That's what I'd like to do. I'd like to give the powers that be a gift that keeps giving. I'd like to give something good for the world, for the people, if I possibly can. If I can't, I accept that too. So I just want to make this video to talk about that, and I hope everybody's having a great 4th of July. And this is going to be probably published on July 5th. The next video that I'm going to do is going to be about CERN, the particle collider, and I'm going to be talking about that and the black magic witchcraft rituals there. I'm going to be talking about how they're attempting to create a portal to pull out some very negative people. These are negative extraterrestrials that are being kept in a nested consciousness simulation. So I'm going to be talking about that actually. My partner, my friend, one of my soulmates, Diane, she's not going to be joining me for a while, but she may, hopefully. I just hope they don't go after her. But that's a bridge we'll have to cross if it happens. So hopefully I'll be able to do something with her soon. My new partner that I'm kind of negotiating with right now, maybe we'll do something in the future. I don't know if he's willing to go public and put his face out there. I know he's willing to write, and he's willing to take the website over. So we'll have to see how that goes. But for now, I'm the front man for this thing, so I'll take the heat. Other than that, I think that's about it. And I'll see you in the next video, and hopefully if I feel better, if I'm not deathly sick from day to day, and I get some energy back, and so I've gotten a little stamina today from taking more medication, hopefully if I'm not completely down and out and being beaten upon by psychic intruders and psychic vampires and everything else that I have to deal with, if I'm not dealing with that garbage, I'll be able to make videos. So I just want to say thank you for tuning in. I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers, and I'll see you soon. Take care.